nice. That's the probe. Quick taste test. Whatever it costs. First time taking the baby bottle off of my port at home. Janice, are you ready? Alright, let's do it. In the amount of time that it takes us to drive to the nursing center, Janice has successfully removed my baby bottle, so I am line free and bag free.
You crushed it.
Hello everyone, we are at the Grower School grounds, the wonderful park behind us. Children have met up with another family to play, and it's a beautiful day as you can see. So I haven't done an update in a while, and this is the update. I've gone through my third and fourth chemo round. My fourth chemo round that just happened last Friday. Today is Thursday, July 14th. And yeah, unfortunately on the third chemo round, new symptoms, bad symptoms, have been experienced, and they're still happening during this fourth round. However, my fourth round did get a little bit better than my third round. So what happened during the third round? What are those bad symptoms? Well, the first one, completely stuffed up nose for several days, up to about 6 days, but somehow still dripping. And well, the cause of that, most likely, I finally get to claim, not that it's something I ever want to claim, I have allergies. So lots of cedar trees around us, and you know, we have fields around our house too and so on. Lots of the grass has been cut by the city and so on, so just pollen everywhere, and my eyes were like burning hot red and tearing up and everything, which is also a symptom of chemo meds, but in this case I think it was a combination of both the chemo meds and my allergies. So talking to my oncologist, there's a good reminder that of course my immune system has been knocked down, so whatever I didn't have before, such as the allergies, is probably a real thing now. The other thing with my nosebleeds had started, so I had to be very gentle when I'm trying to wipe away all that drip and everything, not to blow hard at all, or not even to blow, because as the oncologist had reminded me, don't do anything with force to cause trauma, because then we'll have other issues. So nosebleeds have started. Thankfully during this fourth round, my nosebleed hasn't been as bad and has been more dry style, but not quite, like it's still bright red, but a little bit harder. So you might be thinking, oh, is it also because of the warmer, drier weather? Maybe, which was another problem that I had with hydration. Maybe I'll talk about that later. Another symptom, because of the allergies and also because of the heat, I was also breaking out in hives, everything as small as my thumbnail to as big as my palm, which is humongous. They were breaking out in all the typical hot, sweaty spots like armpits, maybe around the neck, behind my knee and so on, but it was actually happening all across my chest, my back, my legs, you know, on my forearms, and you know, on my biceps. It was just happening everywhere. So I was breaking out in hives. That started during the third round of my chemo. I didn't take anything because no antihistamines. I wasn't sure what would interact with my meds, so I did talk to my oncologist, and there were a few suggestions, but unfortunately I don't take well to the suggested meds. Also because one of the side effect is no sleep, and that's happening. That's one of my pre-meds I take before my chemo, and it keeps me awake. So I don't sleep during my chemo until at least 24 hours later. So my third round and fourth round, same thing. Same thing with the second and the first round. So I knew it from the very, very beginning, because I had this med during my 4-week stay in the hospital. So well before chemo, so I knew what that particular med did. So the moment the oncologist mentioned that we can use that for the antihistamine and to knock things down, I was like, I don't think that's a go, and I explained my side effects to it. So if I do break out in severe hives again, and rather than struggling for a few days with the itchiness, I'll just try Aries, something that we're fond of because of Madeline's allergies when she was younger. Um, Other symptoms, yep, definitely loss of appetite. My third round, fourth round, same kind of thing, only that my fourth round, my loss of appetite was worse in the sense that before I even started the chemo meds through the IV, I take my 3 anti-nauseous med and then atropine. So I take the 3 tablets, and then usually within 5 to 10 minutes, once the pharmacist has gotten all my chemo meds, the bags ready for the nurse to start putting through my port, I'll get my atropine shot. So it's within 5 to 10 minutes. On my fourth round, it was within 10 minutes, which means 15 minutes afterwards, so total 25 minutes after the first start of my pre-meds, I instantly lost my appetite. Like I felt like throwing up right away. I went from talking like this to, I don't want to talk because I feel like I'm going to throw up. So that was a big change during my fourth round. Third round, same kind of thing. It just didn't hit right away. It usually takes about 2 to 3 hours, so it's much faster. So I'm hoping during my fifth round that it'll kind of go back to how it was before, not instant, because my chemo usually starts around noontime. So I'm always trying to get in that last meal as I'm getting the start of my chemo meds, so that I can have nutrition in my body to buffer me for at least 24 hours. So a note of appetite, my third round is terrible. In my last video, I mentioned usually on the fourth day, I'll start getting my appetite and I'll be able to eat and not need to vomit it out. My third round, it wasn't until the end of my 6th day that I got my appetite back. For the full 6 days, it was a big struggle trying to get food into me. I had to eat very small portions, like less than the size of my fist, and then maybe every 2 hours. So I couldn't have more than that, which meant I lost quite a bit of weight. Thankfully, on the 7th day, I was super hungry. My appetite was back, so I was just eating, recovering, just trying to gain a lot of weight back. So my fourth round, which again has happened just a few days ago on a Friday, today's again July 14th on a Thursday, at the end of my third day at nighttime, I was hungry. So I ate, and my ileostomy output was pretty high. Right, so that's the other thing. After my third round, my ileostomy output was constantly around 2 liters, which is quite a bit higher. So I had to step up my loperamide, and even with my loperamide stepped up before each meal and bedtime, my ileostomy output was still high, still close to the 2-liter range. I'm kind of laughing because going into my fourth round of my chemo, my hydration was kind of a struggle as well. So that might have had a play in how I felt. In fact, I hope in my video edit I'll stick in a very small clip of my muscles twitching, but I'll tell you that was happening for a good hour. And like really bad twitches. I think on the video I only managed to capture small twitching. So the third and fourth round of my chemo, sometimes I'd wake up in the morning to a leg cramp. And the leg cramp, actually it might not just be a leg cramp, it could also be my toes. Like they would look like they're going opposite ways like this and then bending up. So lots of muscle spasm and cramps, and it wasn't really cool at all. Hoping that that would get better with my chemo. But let's talk about the good stuff now. As I feel better, we're trying to get a lot more like this. My first outing with the family, other than doctor's visits and everything, was to Centennial Beach. So yeah, we're really trying to do as much as we can just to have family time, make sure mentally I feel good. yeah, just lots of little things. And that's why we're out at the park today. We've met up with some other families as well, and that's good. You know, as much as there's this whole cancer thing, life is good. God is good, and He's giving us a lot of blessings. We count our blessings, and there's also a lot of other people who are walking similar journeys, and we've been chit-chatting back and forth, encouraging one another. So for everyone who's watching this video, thank you so much for watching. You're watching because I know you care. You're praying for me. You have all your thoughts for me and my family, and others. So I feel like I'm kind of rushing to the end of this video because it's getting close to lunchtime. You can see my kids in the background. So I feel like I'm missing some things, and it's kind of broken up because I intended to post a little bit sooner, but I didn't. So we'll see how this video edit goes as well. As always, if you have comments or questions, just ask down below, and we'll be more than happy. Yes, you are in it, and I didn't ask for permission, so you're gonna be in my next video. Okay? Yes, and there's Madeline. So as I said, it's getting close to lunchtime, and Timothy's in the wagon, so we better get going. That's totally fine. Okay, ciao everyone. Bye-bye.